Philly lost again, and now they're in last place. If you listen, I would have took the bet if you would have bet me that Philly would be in last place in the Eastern Conference after spending $600 million on. They gave Joel Embiid, aka Joel the reporter beater, an extra $61 million a year for 3 years. Listen, man, you couldn't have told me giving listen, I knew PG wasn't going to be a factor. They just blew. They should have just threw that money in the furnace and let that shit burn. Tyrese Maxey is hurt now, and it just went from bad to worse because Nick Nurse does not believe in coaching up the bench. So now you have to rely on guys you wasn't really expecting to even be a part of the game plan realistically. So now look at the situation they're in. Last place. It's over, baby. The season's done. I understand they're 3 games out of 6 or whatever they are. 2 games. They're in the same position everybody else is that's below the 10th seed. But the difference is they are expected to be top 3 and to make a deep playoff run because of their investments. The weight of the world on their shoulders is total. They got like the galaxy on their shoulders. Nick Nurse can't coach them out of this. Even if as close as it looks as far as the numerics and the standings, they need Joel Embiid, PG-13, Tyrese to play together at least 40 games in a row. I don't see that happening because Joel Embiid, he's hell-bent on not playing any more than 60 games, 58 games, if they're lucky. Because he's not playing any of the back-to-backs. You know what I mean? So now, with that being already delivered to you, that bad news was delivered early. After he got the 193 extra million for 3 years. He's not playing any back-to-backs. PG doesn't really play back-to-backs because he's injury-prone. He's coming back. He's a non-factor. It's not his responsibility. It's not his team. He's going to play his position as the third guy. But at $200 million, they're expecting a magnificent third guy. You know what I mean? They're expecting a Rodman-like impact. Not to say, Rodman was a totally different player, but the impact on the game was ginormous. They're expecting that type of impact as the third guy because they don't have a bench. And Philly is, in order for them to go anywhere, they need a strong bench. They got all the names. Eric Gordon, Kelly Oubre. They got all these Drummond. They got names, but Nick Nurse don't know how to coach. He don't care about the bench. He don't coach the bench up. And they're down. And they have to get to a situation where they get good positioning in the playoffs. Because at this rate, Boston understands the value of number 1. The Cavs understand the value of being the second seed. They do not want to be 3, 4, or 5 because that's where the battles begin. The third seed is where the battles begin. 3 and 6 is going to be a battle. 2 and 7, 3 and 7, 4 and 8, crazy. Or 4 and 7, you know the numbers. Y'all know the numbers. But those matchups get a little funky once you get in the middle of it. The 4 and the 5, the 3 and the 6 are funny. They don't want to be a part of that because it's a tough road. You want to stay clear of it and then catch everybody when they already, hurt and slowed down and don't have the momentum anymore. And all that energy that they needed is wasted on just getting in front of you while you cruising because you're the top seed. Joel Embiid is not going to be able to come back, carry this team, and then be ready for the playoffs. Mind you, they just lost to LeBron. I don't even know why LeBron's still playing. Like 114 triple doubles. We're done. All right, you did it already. It's time. All right, dude, we good. We good. Thank you. We've witnessed your greatness. When you leaving? We can't wait to give you that celebratory farewell tour. I respect LeBron. It's time to listen. It's time to go. It's time. It's it, man. You got JJ Redick out here looking like Bill Gates. Look, he looked like a genius. He looked like a coaching genius, knowing damn well it's LeBron taking care of everything on the court. I can coach the Lakers with LeBron. Right now, Philly is 1-7, 15th seed. Maxey out, Joel Embiid out, Paul George is a non-factor, no bench, and Nick Nurse is looking crazy. What are they going to do? How they going to fix it? How they going to fix this? Everybody has to come together. Him and Tom Thibodeau rely so heavy on the top five that they never look at coaching up the bench. Like, even if they got qualified guys that have a decent bench, Kyle Lowry, Kelly Oubre, Eric Gordon, Drummond, those are solid names. You give them a couple plays, give them a little. I think they could be a good enough second unit to get y'all to the Eastern Conference Finals. But Nick Nurse ain't gonna coach them up. He relies on the starting five to carry the weight, and then everything else hopefully will happen if the table's set right. And that ain't how I go. A lot of these guys' performances don't impact the environment the way it used to. The game has evolved past their greatness. Now they have to exceed what their greatness level is and stay within the team concept. It's about the system. It's about the system. The personal greatness of a player is limiting. It's about that system. And what type of system does Nick Nurse have that enables to make use of their greatness, enable them to spread their greatness out a lot longer, their prime out a little longer? It's just them playing as hard as they can, as tough as they can, night in and night out until they can't do it no more. That's not a system. That's a recipe for disaster. We've seen it before, and we're seeing it now. Nick Nurse is going to be on the hot seat. Come Christmas, if they still below 10th seed, his ass going to be on the hot seat. They're going to get him up out of there. They definitely going to get him up out of there. He's going to have a hard time finding another head coaching job in the NBA if he loses this one. But that's just me. You know what I mean? Tell me what you think in the comments section. Philly is in last. If you would have told me Philly is going to be in last place, man, listen, I knew Paul George was going to. He wasn't the answer. He wasn't the answer. They needed a playmaking 4 or a playmaking 3. They don't have that. Paul George isn't a playmaking 3 or 4. He's a shooter. He's a scorer. He'll dish off some assists and do. But that's by the time the game is decided. He'll shoot y'all out of games, or he can extend the lead. But for the most part, it's a lot of shooting y'all out of games going on here. They needed a playmaking versatile 4 or 3. Someone who, like a Josh Hart type, that knows how to play make and do the dirty work and clean up the mistakes of others. They don't have that. There's nobody to make up the difference of the shortcomings of other guys. You know what I mean? A lot of those mistakes are putting them behind the 8 ball, and guys are definitely losing and are going to be in this space of they've been losing. A lot of the guys that they got on this team have been losing. They haven't really been a part of any winning, consistent winning and upper echelon, standings. They don't know the responsibility of remaining third. We're talking they were 52 or 54 and 28 with Doc. Now look at them. They dropped to the 7th seed in the play-in, and now they're dead last. It's a big difference. Guys will start packing it in, and regardless if there's a mediocre turnaround or not, they'll quit and be like, yo, I'm going on vacation, and start making plans, and then it's over. They might be in a Cooper Flag. They might be in a Cooper Flag sweepstakes in real life. But we'll see. We'll see if they can dig themselves out this hole. But it's going to take a lot of energy and a lot of coaching. But we're going to see. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Can they salvage the season? We'll see.